Hey planty peeps, welcome to Niche's Plants. My name is Kanisha, also known as Niche, and in today's video we are repotting into Orchid Pon. Now for those of you that would like more details on what Pon is, please see my first video and I'll trust that will answer your questions. And for those that you are wondering what is the difference between standard Lechuza Pon and Orchid Pon, let's get into it. So pH value is 5.3, which is acidic. The pH for Lechuza is 7.1, which is more alkaline. And pH is 5.3. If you don't know that, basically the pH chart goes from 1 to 14. 7 to 14 is more alkaline, so basically 7 is neutral, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 go more alkaline, and then 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is very, obviously 1 is extremely acidic, which I think vinegar's at like 3, is it? I think. So this being 5.3 is quite high. So if you didn't see my previous videos on Pon, I used this in the first video that I will link up before. There's episodes 1 to 3, and then today we'll be using Orchid Pon, and basically I'll be transferring a few plants, including my Roracoranum, into this. Now what I'm hoping with this is basically the fact that this is a higher pH. Again, epiphytes like that, and aroids are epiphytes, meaning they grow and climb on other plants or things. They do like a higher pH, which this Orchid Pon, as we've seen, does have that. So I'm hoping with that it will basically provide a much more substrate likening to their natural environment, but also maybe this will encourage faster growth because it's more of what they like, and hopefully, wishful thinking, hopefully it will encourage some flowering and for me to get some interflorences, and that I could collect some Pon and maybe hybridize, you know, cross-pollination a few anthuriums. So let's see if Orchid Pon will be the trick in enabling my anthuriums to flower, because I've not had an anthurium to do so as of yet. So that will be the big thing for me. I'm not expecting it to, but if it did, that would be absolutely amazing. You'll see here that I do have a Lechuza watering pot. Now I won't use that in this one. I will do a separate video for that because I have ordered an anthurium Bessier. So once that comes, I will then pop that up in the self-watering pot, and I will show you all about that, what it does, how it works, how to set it up. This is the mini cube, so this is what it looks like. It's just white. So when that comes in, I'm hoping in the next 10 to 14 days it should be here. So we'll do that then. And again, I'll be using the jungle pots which I used previously. They've got the aeration, but they're clear so you can see root growth. So that's what we're doing, so let's get to it. Okay, so what plants are we potting today? You'll see there we've got the remnants of a leaf damage fungal that's been dealt with, so I've left the leaf there because it's still benefiting the plant. Okay, just to note, this is a project or rehab plant, hence why it doesn't have much of a root system, just so you know. This plant I got in a swap, so you'll see there's a little TLC needed, but I'm sure we can rectify that and bring it to its full glory. You can see on the leaf tip there's obviously been some sort of darkening and dyeing of that tip, which looks fungal to me, so I will be cutting that off and just generally cleaning the plant before we pot this up. Just to note, I accidentally broke the sink plug, hence why I'm using a bowl in the sink. So I want to make the water lukewarm, so starting off with hot or really warm water, then adding a bit of cold water in there, and I will use my wrist basically to check the temperature just to make sure it's not too hot or cold, because you don't want to shock the roots. And just to note, to add in regards to cleaning, because one of the plants is a little new, though I've already quarantined it, I'm using hydrogen peroxide. And it basically kills bacteria. So you used to be 1 part hydrogen peroxide, 2 parts water. I'm just putting a little bit in there because I don't need loads. Sorry about that. Add to that, I'm also going to use Dr. Bronner's Castile soap. You would probably have seen this in 1 or 2 of my other videos. Just going to use a little bit, just to clean them up. And then we'll start cleaning roots, so let's get to it. Following my previous pond videos, I did have a few questions, so I thought I might as well take this time to answer those now. So one of the questions was, what do you do after 6 months when the slow release fertilizer is due? So we know that the slow release fertilizer lasts up to 6 months. It is activated once it's wet. Now, I haven't been using Pon for 6 months. I've literally just started the last couple of months, but what I would plan to do is that once it gets to the end of those 6 months, I will continue to fertilize my plants with liquid fertilizer. I feel it's only when the plant needs to be repotted to a bigger size would I then consider replenishing the slow release fertilizer with a new batch and removing the old. The second question, do you use liquid fertilizer in the first 6 months or plain water? And the answer to that is yes, I do use liquid fertilizer in the first 6 months. The first 20 days I just use plain water because I water my plants every 10 days, which I do go through and touch on in my previous videos. But after that I do use my liquid fertilizer, but a reduced diluted amount. So basically, I'm going through each plant, check the roots, and like that, I need to cut that off, which I'm gonna cut sideways because we've got a root on the other side. It's gone quite far up, which isn't great, which I feel like I'm just going to cut this root off. I think I'm going to have to. And just cut. So with this I had to cut a bit of the base off because it had a bit of rot and it was soft, so I just trimmed it right up. But we've still got a good amount of roots. And this one, I don't think there's much to trim. The roots look pretty good. And it's broken anyway, so we're just going to take that off. This one's roots are fine, so they don't need anything doing to them. This one, the stem now feels, yeah, look, it's got too much water in it, so we're just going to chop it. See, look, get in there.
Third question was, do you use self-watering pots or do you water pon like normal soil mix? I water pon like normal soil mix. It just means having my plants in pon, I don't have to water them as frequently, but currently, yes, as if it was soil. I do have one self-watering pot, which I mentioned at the beginning of the video. I will try that out with one of my plants, and if it works well, I might get a few more, but we'll see how that goes, do a little review, and I'll keep you updated.
This bag is a lot dirtier than the standard pon. We're gonna go like that. A lot easier if you have some type of skip. It doesn't have much roots to ground it yet, so do its thing. So that one's like that. This one like that. This one. Just put it out there. These guys, right, that'll do for there. This one may not do it. I'm wondering if I do the larger one first and then see how much we've got left. Now this one, wow, okay. I need to trim that off, which we'll do now. I know that's dry, but it looks like it had the same fungal thing, so just kind of want to get rid of it. moss around this one, I think. Yeah, I think I'm going to cover that one with moss. There's so much pon here. I'm sure I was messier in this one than the last one. No, I've just made a complete mess, but hey ho. And that's the work. Now the orchid pon is pretty much finished, so I'm not really going to have enough to do this unless I put it back in its small pot. I might be able to do it with this pon here and mix moss and pon until I get another bag and do that. So that's probably what I'm going to do. Alright, so here they are. I'm going to try and do a little pon in this. So literally, what's left in the bag, let's see if this works. So, this little one with, it's literally like that. So you can get the bigger stones at the bottom.
Just in case you're wondering why I'm placing the larger stones at the bottom, I'm doing this so that the smaller pon pieces don't all fall through the holes at the bottom of the container once I fill it up.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to take something out of this one and put it in, because this one, if anything, can go a little deeper. Let me just repot this one. I'm getting this one out, obviously because it's now a bit looser. What we're going to do is just plant it a bit deeper. So I'm going to take this pot again and pour that back out into it all, so that it's a mess, to that, and just plant it a little deeper. That's all we're going to do. Yeah. Like that. Kind of dig a hole, put the plant in where we want it, which want it there. And then I'm going to move, actually support it like that, and it holds it. See? Like that. You can pour the rest in around it, and we're pretty much that is done. Right, Baba?
As you'll see, some of the plants I've wrapped the top of the stem with moss. I've done this one to keep humidity and also to keep it moist to prevent it from drying out, but also to offer some support. I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe there was some information there that you found out that you didn't previously know. I'm hoping that the next pond video will be the self-watering pot, assuming and hoping that my plant arrives on time, but I will keep you updated. But for now, dare to dream, live to grow, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.